everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to show you guys how I'm going to redo this TV console, and I hope to inspire you guys as well. I got this TV console from a local flea market for 40 bucks. I thought, oh, I'm going to have to get my hands on it. I'm so excited to show you guys what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using my CO2 laser to help me with this. And again, not everybody has one, and that's totally fine. If you need anything cut out, we are more than happy to help assist you along your journey in revamping a TV console or dresser yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is take measurements and head to the house so that way I can do this on my platform. All right, so I am here on the computer. My husband set up this really cool camera, so I'm pretty excited about being on a screen and webcam kind of thing. So we just got back from the shop. I'm gonna be jumping on my computer because I want to do this really cool idea, and I actually did it before, but I'm gonna kind of show you what the steps of how you can do something using a CO2 laser and when you're revamping a dresser. So I mean, if you decide not to do a revamp using a CO2 laser, this is just going to kind of help you, give you some different options. So here, let's get started. I am here on Etsy, and I'm going to be jumping on because I'm going to be searching an ornate SVG file, because that's what I'm going to need for the CO2 laser. So I'm going to search ornate SVG. Let's do panel. Okay, that's going to pop up a lot of really cool designs. So the idea is that on my drawers, I want to put something that's going to give me some dimension, but also make it look super pretty. So let's see what I can find. I immediately jumped and I saw these. Now remember, my drawers are going to be horizontal. So I like the way this one right here is cut out. I think that looks really nice. I think it'll look really nice on my front faces on my drawers. So I think I'm just going to kind of come look through here. I mean, there's so many different files. When you're using a CO2 laser, you can actually get any kind of SVG file from Etsy. You can buy and purchase the panels that come in stock. Some of them come in lots of different sizes with different designs. So you can kind of look through, and I'm just going to kind of see what I want for the vision of what, I want it to end and look like. So I'm so excited for this. I actually did some of these arches. They're really cool. I can show you a video later on how to do that and create something. And while I'm searching, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It means absolutely the world to us. I definitely want to jump to 10,000 viewers or 10,000 subscribers this year. That is our goal. So it would help us. Make sure to like the video, comment below, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. So I'm going to go back up, and I'm actually going to pick this panel because I think it looks really pretty. So this is what I'm thinking I'm going to get. It does say SVG right here, so I want to make sure that I have that file. And remember, these are going horizontal, so it's going to look really pretty. And I'm going to put some of the original pulls that are on the dresser. I'm going to go ahead and put those on there. So I'm thinking these are them. I love them. They're really pretty, so I can kind of see it already. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase them. And there we go. Whenever you're downloading the file, it will automatically go to your cart. You're going to go to your cart. Oh, I already purchased it. Ha, just kidding. I'm going to go to purchases, and my purchases will have all the files that I bought. Yes, I do have Stitch. My daughter wanted some Stitch ornaments, and then my son wanted some dinosaur ones, so we were able to do that on the CO2 laser. So I have this design. I'm going to go ahead and download the file, and it's going to pop up. Let's see, download file. It's going to pop up right here, and it is ready right there. So I'm going to click on it. Let me bring this over so you guys can see. And we want the SVG file. And we need to extract all of it. And just so you can see what it looks like whenever you get the file. So we're going to extract all. Okay, so here are the panels. Now, I don't know which one I'm going to use, and I did get the measurement of the drawer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this panel to fit to size, just because I want it to have a nice clean look with a frame around it. And I want to make sure that I give myself enough space on the outer area. If you look really closely, this outer area right here, I want to give myself enough space so that way I can fit it in a drawer panel. Now, I don't know if I want to make it to size, to the exact size of the front face of the drawer, or do I want to go ahead and do a rail and style around it, which is something that I can do. Oh, so many options, but I'm going to make this big. I'm going to save the file because even whenever I go to my computer at the shop and I want to cut it, all I have to do is just adjust the size and I can cut it. So I'm going to save all three just because I haven't picked which one I want to do. Now, again, I am going to be doing these horizontally. That way you can kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to do. Is I'm going to end up cutting this out so that way it goes on the front faces of the drawer, and then my pull will go on top and it's going to look amazing. So I don't know, which one do you think, babe? Pretty, right?
Well, which one would be the best to put a drawer, huh?
Or the pull?
And that means it's open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if those are all cut out, you gotta pick the one that you'll be able to actually put a hole.
So my idea is to put
Oh,
this
you're gonna
panel.
have a vacuum. Oh,
My
okay.
idea is to put this panel on top of the front of the drawer, so I could do any of these
So you'll have a
technically.
vacuum behind it. I think any of them also.
Right? They're pretty.
This one's really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My husband says this one right here. So we're gonna file save this. File save as. Okay, we have our light burn right here. We're gonna go to laser files, and we're going to go to ornate, and we are going to save it. Ornate dresser drawer panel. That will help me. And I just want to make sure that the file is there. So let me go ahead and go to File, Import. It's right there. I go to my laser files, go to my ornate, and yep, it's right there. So there's the other import. So it works. So I'm going to go ahead and run to the shop and pick which one I'm going to do. My husband says number 3. So if you start from top to bottom, the last one at the very bottom, he says. So, okay. And if anybody is interested on getting some software information or some videos that you would need help with, definitely don't mind doing that. Just make sure to comment below if you need that help, and we'll make sure to help you help our viewers out. Thanks again, guys. So let's go run to the shop and let's get these cut. I'm going to go ahead and cut these on the birch. So I'm going to take you up to the shop and then we'll go from. All right, so I am back at the shop and I got my 1/4-inch birch. I made the cut a little bit bigger so that way it gives it enough space for the area that it needs to cut out. Cuts out pretty good on a good amount of space. So I went ahead and I got to my computer, put my USB file in the computer, and I was able to get started on the cut. Now, whenever I decided to put this into cut, I went ahead and I went over to the TV console. That way I could make sure that I kind of knew what else I was going to do. So it does take a good minute during the cutting process whenever you're doing a CO2 laser. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cut out on a CO2 laser if you're interested in purchasing one. It also does engraving. So on our website, we also have charcuterie boards and things like that that you can also purchase if you want something engraved. Again, the CO2 laser was a really, really cool thing for us to get, and it helped me figure something out different whenever I'm designing a TV console. So one thing I did notice whenever I was looking at the TV console was that the top was very uneven, and I didn't want that for the look. Wanted something a little bit more smoother, and the drawers looked like they were in pretty good shape. I didn't think that I had to do anything else to the drawers, but the top definitely needed a new look. So one of the things that I thought, you know, while the CO2 laser was cutting out my front faces to the drawers, I wanted to go ahead and do some fun things to the top. was done cutting that, I thought, okay, let me go ahead and start taking off the top so that way I can put a new one. Now, remember, again, I said that the top was very uneven, and it did turn out that this was like a very funky tongue and groove top, but it was interesting because all the wood was unleveled and uneven. So it did take me a good minute to take out the top. I had to use a crowbar. I had to use whatever tool that I had in handy at the shop and remove the top. And it was glued right in all the right spots. And I thought, you know, what if I just plane it down on the top rather than just removing the whole thing? But I wanted a different stain, and just thinking about how much time it would take for me to plane it, sand it, and then stain it, I didn't know if it would just be better just to remove the top. So I went ahead and removed it. It did have a good apron underneath for me to support a new top if I wanted to. So I thought, let me go ahead and just take it all off, and I could definitely do a new top. And then after that, I was going to be on to painting. The paint that I decided to use was a folk art home decor chalk paint that I actually found on Amazon. And a lot of people who are trying to revamp or redo a piece of furniture, a lot of them do use chalk paint. Do you have to use chalk paint for all of your revamped items? No, you can definitely use latex paint. You can do a lot of other things. So we actually put a primer on the TV console, and I wanted to see how well the chalk paint would do if I went ahead and rolled a lot of the areas rather than using a chalk paint brush that a lot of flippers like to use. I went ahead and I did a foam roller that we use on our cabinets, and it turned out amazing. I didn't have any unsettling, unleveled areas of paint. It actually went on really smooth, and I did use a bristle brush for the more routed edges, so that way it gave me a more distressed look, because again, I am going to distress this. So if you are wanting to try to use the chalk paint, try using it with a foam roller and see how it works out for you. I definitely was able to cover a lot of the area on the actual piece, and I didn't have any issues or problems, and it turned out great. So after I placed the actual cut out on top of the drawer, just so you can kind of get an idea of what exactly I was going to do. After that, I went ahead and I pulled the drawer to the side and I started standing off the front, not even thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, I think I wanted to stain the background and paint the top, but then I thought, you know what, let me try a different way. I think it would look a lot better if I just stained the actual cutout of the birch that I just cut out on the CO2 laser, and then just keeping the drawer white. So you don't have to sand it down if you it is unnecessary. Whenever you're using a chalk paint, you can do a primer, or if it is sanded, you can go ahead and start painting with the chalk paint. Now, again, I can definitely post the link for where I got the chalk paint. Again, I got it from Amazon, and I'll post the link below. So I went ahead and I decided to do the paint rolling method on a foam roller, so that way I could put the cutout panel that I was going to use for the front, and I decided to go ahead and stain that. There's so many different stains, and the color that I decided to use was the hazelwood Varathane stain color, and it looked really, really pretty. I'm going to jump right in right here and just let you know that whenever you're doing a wood cutout like this on a CO2 laser, what I like to use as far as the glue is the medium Titebond glue. I like to put it on a flat board, put the glue all around the board, and then go ahead and put my panel cutout on top of it, and then move it over to the area that I need it to glue to. So once I was done putting some Titebond glue onto the actual drawer, went ahead and I went to my panel saw to cut out my top. I got the measurements of the actual TV console, went to my panel saw with a 3/4 inch birch, unfinished, so that way I could go ahead and stain the top in the hazelwood just like I did the front faces of the ornate panel cutouts that I used on the CO2 laser. So once I was able to get that all cut out, I went ahead and I double checked measurements. You have to always double check measurements whenever you are doing a big piece of wood. And then after that, I went over to my table, sanded it down, and then I was ready to start staining it. Yay! I went ahead and I put the top on, and then there was this spot right here on the drawer that I needed to fix in order for the drawer to slide in smoothly. I also had to cut out an area in the center using a 1/2 inch unfinished birch for the center shelf. That was not included in the actual TV console when I got it, but it's something that I knew that I could do, so I went ahead and I got that cut out. And then once I had that cut out, I went ahead and used the foam roller again just to put on the chalk paint and give it a nice even clean look, because later I was going to go ahead and do some distressing. So I thought, let me go ahead and make it match in there. And then just give it a nice finish, touch-up paint all the way around. I pulled the drawers out just so it's easier for me to paint in all the other angles. Then I was able to slide them back in. If you do decide to use a paintbrush, I like using a soft bristle brush just because it gives it a nice clean look. Again, on some previous videos, I do recommend using a soft bristle brush whenever you don't want those lines to show. And then using also tape to help you out whenever you need to get into those crazy areas. Now, I did like the pulls that it came with. I didn't want to go and buy more, so I thought, let me go ahead and just spray them. So I went ahead and I did a black gloss spray on the pulls, and then I just set them aside to dry. Once I was done doing that, I went ahead and I glued some poplar to the front face of the 3/4 inch cut that I did cut out, and I did do a 45-degree angle on the ends. If it's something that you would like to see or learn how to do that, I can definitely show you guys on a different video how to making those 45 degrees on a miter saw. But once I was done with that, I went ahead and I gave it another coat of the hazelwood on top, and I put some glue all along the base frame, so that way I was able to nail them and give it a nice solid clean look, because it's a TV console, so if somebody decides to put a TV on this, then it would have to be nice and solid, and it turned out great. I'm so excited. I think the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and sand it down, put the pulls on, and once I'm done with that, do a distressed look to it, so that way it gives me the finished look on the design. And yeah, here we go. I went ahead and I used regular screws for the pulls just because they had holes in them, and I'm going to give you an up close view of what the pulls look like, and I absolutely love them. They give it the right amount of pop that I need for this piece. So guys, whenever you are distressing your piece, make sure to use a higher grit, not a lower grit. Now remember, if you're wanting to remove things, you want to use a 40 grit or 60 or 80. 40 is going to really take off some varnish or things that you're trying to take off. Now this one, I didn't want to take too much off. I wanted to give it enough to give it that distressed look. So I used a 180 grit, and I also followed it by a 220. And that pretty much wraps up this project, but don't go just yet. We are going to be staging this piece, and then I have a sneak peek for our next project coming up. for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. For future videos and more fun DIY furniture flips, project redos, make sure to follow our channel. And the one project that I was telling you that I was promising you about was this sneak peek of the one that we're going to be doing next week. So make sure to tune in. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.